You're stuck at home in quarantine. 5 o'clock. Why not have a drink with me?
Good afternoon! Happy Saturday. Hope everyone's having a great weekend. Nice to see Megan in the chat. 5 o'clock dinner. This works out for you quite well. Nice. Well, I'm glad the timing works out. I hope as you're making dinner, you are indulging in a glass of wine or some kind of cocktail. Good to see folks. Today is Saturday. Today officially starts week 6 of quarantine for us. 5 full weeks behind us. Today's day 36. Today was a good day. We woke up and we had about 2 inches of snow on the ground. So that was quite a surprise. I knew it was gonna snow a little bit. I was expecting maybe like a dusting, and it didn't stick to any of the roads or anything like that, but like our whole backyard, all of the like power and telephone lines, the fence, cars, all just like covered with a bunch of snow, which is really jarring, but it's still supposed to be over 60 tomorrow, which I am looking forward to. Adrian in the chat. Hello, Adrian. Otherwise, a pretty uneventful day. Some of you might have seen on Instagram this morning that I made some Brazilian cheesy bread rolls, which is apparently this like traditional Brazilian pastry, pão de queijo or something like that. I don't know Portuguese. But the funny story with that is that this recipe has been on our to-do list to make for literally years. So it keeps popping up. It's in this like cookbook that we always go back to. It's always been on the list. Like, oh, we're gonna make these. Oh, we need to make these. Oh, those look really good. I see it in my Instagram feed. Oh, I really want to make that. For whatever reason, it's just like taken us years and years and years to actually make it. And turns out, of all of the bread and pastry recipes that I've ever made in my life, it is by far the easiest recipe that you can think of that's from scratch, that makes a delicious bread or roll or pastry. Literally, I think 6 or 7 ingredients. You just put them all in a blender, you blend it for a minute, you pour it into a mini muffin tin that you sprayed with some spray oil, and then bake it for 20 minutes. And they were light and fluffy and airy and cheesy. Really good. So we'll definitely be returning to that one. It's nice too that they are naturally gluten-free. So we didn't have to like modify, the recipe isn't modified at all for Helen's dietary needs. And they use tapioca starch or tapioca flour. So really good. Would recommend. All right. So tonight we're going to make a basic, straightforward gin cocktail called a Clover Club. This is a pre-Prohibition era cocktail coming by way of Philadelphia. There's this group of, I feel like mostly lawyers, but this social club of sorts called the Clover Club in Philadelphia at this bar. And this cocktail is said to have come from there. And it's a pretty basic, just sour recipe with the addition of some raspberries. And what's nice about this is if you don't need any like crazy liquors, or anything like that. If you have some simple syrup made with some sugar, if you have a bottle of gin, if you have some raspberries and a lemon, and I'm going to be using an egg white, you might have all the ingredients to make this cocktail. So hopefully it'll be quite nice. So I'm going to start by just taking 3/4 of an ounce of simple syrup and adding to it about 5 raspberries that I picked up during my grocery store run yesterday. And just washed these in our sink so they're good to go. And you can probably skip this step because they're going to get all macerated and mashed up when we shake it. But I'm just going to give it a nice little press with my muddler to start to break up. I don't need to kill them or anything like that, but essentially some recipes for this will use like a raspberry syrup that you make separate, but I think this will work just as well. All right. Now I'm going to take 3/4 of an ounce of lemon juice and add that in. And let's see if I do this. Oh man. I showed some folks yesterday I got all these lemons from Costco, which are like beautiful, but they're enormous. This one like barely fits in my juicer. So let's see if I can be carefully juice this right into my jigger so I don't need to dirty up extra glasses. Perfect. Yeah, half a lemon is about perfect for that. Sometimes there's a little bit that sneaks out top. Lovely. So I've got my 5 raspberries. I've got 3/4 of an ounce of simple syrup, 3/4 of an ounce of fresh lemon juice, and now I'm going to take 2 ounces of gin. Is this the right jigger? No, this is the wrong jigger. All right. One ounce. My 2 ounce jigger's in the other room, so I will use 2 1-ounce pours. Perfect. And in a moment, I will add my egg white. Now, when you have an egg white cocktail, the key is lots and lots of shaking in order to get that egg white really whipped up and frothy. Last week when I did an egg white cocktail, I did what's called a dry shake, which is you add the egg white, you shake for a while without ice, then you add the ice and shake some more. The idea is you want to shake for a really long time, but you don't want to shake with the ice for extra long because that'll give you extra dilution, which you're not going for. The drink will already be plenty cold. So basically we want the ice in there for half the time. So that's the dry shake. Today we're actually going to do what's called a reverse dry shake, which is we're going to shake with ice first, without the egg white, strain the ice out of that, then add the egg white, and shake from there. So I'm just going to grab my fine mesh strainer, because in a second I'm going to want to do a finer strain to get out all of any ice chips or pulp or raspberry seeds that make their way in. I'm going to add 4 cubes of ice. And we'll shake. Great, so I'm going to take my glass, I'm going to strain once with my Hawthorne strainer and twice with my fine strainer just back into that glass. Look at that lovely pink liquid. We're definitely going to have a nice clean cocktail because we got all of that, see all that pulp we got out of there from the raspberries. Now I'm just going to toss this old ice. Give my shaker a quick rinse. And now we are going to add our egg white to the drink. All right, so everything is nice and cold, so I'm not worried about this. So now we're gonna finish the reverse dry shake by shaking our egg white for a while. Let's get to it. Much quieter when you shake without ice. And this is gonna get that egg white nice and fluffy. And when I pour this out, I'm gonna be able to pour right in. I won't have to strain anything. We've got Alex in the chat. Hello, Alex. Now just eat the yolk. What do I look like, Rocky? No thanks. I do love a runny yolk, but maybe with a piece of toast. Maybe if it wasn't cold. There's something about cold yolk that, I don't know, a little weird for me. Oh yeah. A little bit longer. And the more you shake, the more like whipped and fluffy it's gonna be. Break the seal on that. And now we can go straight into our glass. We don't need to strain anything. We don't have any ice. We already strained out all of our pulp and all of that. Oh, look how beautiful that is. And when we give that a second to settle a little bit, I will prepare my garnish. And for my garnish, let's clean up my workstation a little bit. I'm just gonna take 3 raspberries on a nice cocktail pick to lay right across. Is there any risk of salmonella with egg white drinks? Yes. There is. It is very low, but it is not a 0% risk. And if you're really worried about it, you can go out of your way and make sure you get pasteurized eggs. Or you can use egg substitutes. An interesting one that I've seen used is, I forget, it has a special name, but it's the like juicy liquidy stuff from like a can of chickpeas that you can use to replace the egg white that apparently has a similar consistency. All right. So I've got my 3 raspberries. Just gonna go right across, get these nicely lined up, like that. And there we have the Clover Club. And I'm gonna get a, let's see, getting a napkin ready because whipped drinks like this are on the list of man with a beard hazards. I'm sure it's gonna be all over my stash. But let's give this a try. Very good. Very good. Tastes like a sour. You get the lemon juice. I get a little bit of the botanicals from the gin, but it's not a very ginny drink at all. There's a lot of liquid in this from between the egg and the simple syrup and the lemon juice, where the gin gets hidden a lot. And then, I wouldn't say it's a really strong raspberry flavor. The raspberry's pretty subtle. I bet if you used like a raspberry syrup like I was talking about, that was a little more concentrated, you'd get more of it. But I definitely get the raspberry flavor, which I think is yummy and complements the other flavors really well. This is a really good drink. I am a fan. Aquafaba, thank you. That is totally it, Megan. Thank you very, very much. Yes, you should definitely try this one. And again, so it's a solid gin drink, has some history to it, like I said, pre-Prohibition era, and doesn't require crazy ingredients, which is always a plus, although for me that's part of the fun. That is really good. It's like very fluffy. I love a good egg white cocktail, which is really yummy. All right, so I hope you all are having a drink to start your Saturday night. I don't really know what our plans are going to be tonight. I think we've been trying to do like a takeout type of situation on Saturday nights in the past, and the first few Saturdays of quarantine we were getting from our favorite Indian restaurant that does delivery, which was really great. They ended up closing because of some supply issues. They were getting all of their spices and ingredients from New York apparently, and they couldn't replace it. And so when that stopped, they weren't able to get the ingredients from New York anymore. They had to close, which is a total bummer. So I think tonight we're going to try our favorite Thai place. But we can't get delivery from it, so we're going to have to go and pick it up. But hopefully it'll be good and easy. And, it's not too bad to get out of the house as long as you are safe. We've got our masks ready to go and all that. Take one more sip.
It's 5 o'clock. Why not have a drink with me?
Cheers, everyone. Have a good night. Enjoy your Saturday night. We'll see you back here tomorrow.